Hi, I'm Craig Phillips. These are some of the most commonly asked questions we get asked around 3C's wood repair products. Which type of filler is best for wood repairs, epoxy or polyester? Polyester resins usually cure quicker and harder than epoxies, but this does mean that epoxies tend to be far more flexible and easier to sand afterwards. This is why 3C wood repair resins are epoxy based. This is usually useful when doing wood repairs externally, when expansion and contraction is super important. Personally, I always prefer epoxies over polyester. Can you colour dye wood repair filler? Now, we've tested this quite a lot and I can confirm, yes, you can. Most acrylic dyes will work. The darker the dye, the better the result. Now, this is a huge plus point for using wood repair resins, as it's a good way of matching a substrate and blending it in with the surface. Are my windows too rotten and beyond repair? Well, the majority of windows can be saved. In general, rot appears in the bottom corners where the rainwater has been sitting, which means 90% of the window is probably fine. That 10%, even if it's rotten all the way through, can be repaired with resin and incorporating new sections of timber. Now, we do cover this in a separate answer about splicing later on, but this method is vastly cheaper than replacing the window and of course is so much better for the environment. What is a splice repair? Wood splicing is a traditional woodworking technique used by professionals, but is also very handy for DIY, whereby you either join two or more pieces of wood together or add a piece of wood into a void or gap to create a stronger and more solid structure. Using splicing alongside epoxy resin is a cost-saving and time-saving method of wood repair. How can I repair damaged furniture, skirting boards, frames, etc.? When you've got damaged furniture, door or window frames, dado rails, skirting boards or any other wooden structures that have dips, chips or rot which need some TLC, 3C's wood repair resin is just as easy to use in situ as it is to use separately in a workshop or similar. The nature of the paste-like mixed resin is that it can be used to fill gaps and holes, then neatly shaped, moulded and finished before the curing process starts. If I stick some wood together but don't want to see the materials used, what can I do? Whether you're using either the 2-in-1 or the 2-part 3C wood repair resin, the colour and texture of the fully cured repair varies in contrast to each substrate, fixture or fitting, etc. So one way to finish the job and blend the consistency is by sanding flat, then painting or coating the area. This method works really well. Another way of bonding would entail butting the similar or different substrates together, though only seeing a small amount of material seeping out from the joint, which can be easily disguised by sanding it back. If you really are struggling to make a repair that will be seen, then another option could be to include using 3C's multi-use clear, which works very well. Can you do wood repairs in wet or damp conditions? No, I wouldn't recommend carrying out wood repairs in wet or damp conditions. And it's also super important that the surface should be dry too. All resins and glues work best in dry conditions. There's a big risk of the repair failing, so if it's crucial to do the repair outdoors, then you should wait for at least a couple of days of dry conditions, and then you can check the wood using a damp meter if you have one available. Now, if you don't, you can always pick one up. They're very cheap these days. Is there a difference in internal and external wood repairs? The biggest difference is the change of temperatures and the weather conditions that you face with external wood repairs. You should always use a flexible repair resin for external repairs, and the key factor is the correct preparation of the wood with stabilizers and primers. And then afterwards, painting with a good quality waterproof paint. Now, internal repairs face a lot less punishment, so you can get away with less preparation. What tools are required for wood repairs? We do have a few accessories made especially for our wood repair system, but in general, the procedure from start to finish requires basic hand tools that can be usually found in most toolboxes. Now, to prepare the surface, all the gaps, etc. For the repair, an electric router or multi-tool can be used, as well as a chisel, file or rasp. Then a gun is used to extrude the resin, either the specially made double barrel gun for the 2-part, or you can just use a decent quality mastic sealant skeleton gun for either the 2-in-1 or do the 2-part wood repair one at a time. Or you can even go all Yosemite Sam style with 2. The 3C mixing plate is just a convenient base for the resin to be mixed with, but of course you can use whatever you like for this. And then again, the 3C spatulas we sell are perfect for mixing and actually applying the resin onto the timber, but you can use whatever filling knife or scraper you prefer. Then once cured, the resin can be scraped back, filled, sanded with a belt-driven machine, orbital sander, or even by hand, or any other standard tool used to finish the application. So all in all, no specialist tools are needed. Do I need specialist training to do wood repairs? Although we have some great demonstration videos for various wood repairs, the procedure is very straightforward and can be basically broken down into preparation, which involves scraping out the rotten timber and taking the structure back to dry, using 1 or more splices if required, then brushing on a stabilizing primer, extruding and mixing the epoxy resin to a usable consistency with a spatula, applying the mixed resin directly onto the timber and roughly shaping the repair to a cosmetic finish ready for sanding. Hopefully our questions and answers have been useful, but if you've got any more questions, please leave them in the comments below. But if you need to know more about the vast range of products that 3C stock, just check out their website, 3csealants.co.uk. Don't forget, you can now purchase 3C's products directly from Sealants Online, Amazon and eBay.